So, hi guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously, myself, Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about Grapplefest 11. Grapplefest 11 is going to be at the usual place. It's Fleet Street in Liverpool. That's going to be Fusion Nightclub. Now, it's going to be on Saturday, the 26th of February. Now, doors open, I believe, at around about 3 p.m., 3:30. And the first fight will be kicking off at 4 p.m. UK time. So obviously for American times, obviously just adjust your times for accordingly. But that will be 4 p.m. UK time. Going to be a great night. We're going to have Daisy Fresh coming over with some of the best grapplers that America or the US has to offer at the moment. They're going to be up against some of the best competitors that we have here in the UK and Europe. So it's going to be an absolute fantastic night of matches. Now, there is no tickets available. The tickets have sold out. The only place you will be able to see it will be on Fight TV. So it was announced yesterday, Fight TV. The prices accordingly are going to be the annual subscriptions, $49.99. Monthly is $4.99. And the one-off payment, if you want to just have it for this one event, it will be, I believe, $14.99. So works out UK, it's about £10 here in the UK. So I think there's 33 matches, so you're going to get great value for money. My next guest is going to be on the show that night. So Brad, I hope I say this right, Brad Schneider.
Yep.
Yes, so Brad Schneider. Brad's obviously representing Pedigo Submission Fighting, so obviously the Daisy Fresh team. So Brad's going to be up against Next Generation MMA's Matty Holmes. So everybody will know who Matty is here in the UK. Matty's been on Grapplefest a couple of times before, Polaris, Tanko, and so on. So Brad, listen, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Thanks for having me on.
No, definitely. So, how's everything going with you then in regards to training?
Training's been good. I had to take a week off just because I had like a sinus infection, but we're back on track now. On top of Grapplefest, we're still getting ready for the ADCC West Coast Trials.
Yes.
So a lot of wrestling going on, but maybe won't see that in the match for Grapplefest.
Yes. And then what about for you guys in the States then? So in regards to, in the UK, we had very tight restrictions in regards to training. I'd say there was a period of time where gyms were not allowed to open at all. So what about the restrictions in the US? I mean, has it affected your training at all?
So I got pretty fortunate. Dante hired me to teach at his gym about 2 years ago. And a few months after I moved there, the lockdown happened. So I'm living with Dante and another competitive person, Daniel Calvert. So three of us lived together. We were able to train together every day. So my training didn't really dip too much during that. But the restrictions kind of slowly lifted, and then we were able to open our gym in a kind of minor capacity after that. So I'd say only for the first 4 months we really had any major restrictions.
Yeah. It's a great, obviously having Dante Leon, so being obviously in the middle of a lockdown, and one of your only training partners is Dante Leon, so that couldn't have been too bad.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if we were able to push him as much as he maybe needed then, but he seemed to be doing well that year, so I think we definitely benefited from it. Yeah.
Yes. Dante's awesome. I mean, he's a really, really nice guy. I managed to speak to him before Grapplefest 10, and I've been in touch with him about Grapplefest 11, so hopefully we're going to get some time this week. But he's an awesome character, really, really nice. And when you know that, I mean, especially in jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of egos in jiu-jitsu and big egos. Certainly some black belts that talk a lot and things like that, whereas Dante's the complete opposite. He's very humble, and do you know what I mean? He's willing to speak to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just comes from, one, he is Canadian, so he's going to be a little more polite, and two, now that he's in the States, he's living in the Midwest, and I don't know if you know much about the Midwestern United States, but it's kind of all the same as the Canadian stereotypes.
Yeah,
polite, you know.
Definitely. Nah, he is an awesome guy. As I say, I absolutely loved chatting with him the last time, so looking forward to speaking to him again. And then, what about obviously now you're with Pedigo?
Mhm.
Obviously went over with Dante. So how's things different in regards to Pedigo, training at Pedigo to what it was previously?
Different. We always had a good relationship with the people at Pedigo, so we'd cross train with them pretty frequently.
Yeah,
Us going there, them coming up to our gym. This is actually going to be my first pro event representing Pedigo, so I'm excited for that. But I think mostly the biggest change was just in name because we already
yeah.
had a pretty good relationship with everyone there.
Yeah. And it's an awesome team. I mean, Heath's done an absolute fantastic job with the team at Pedigo. So, and we got to see obviously a little bit of it at the last Grapplefest, and we're obviously going to get to see a lot more. There's a lot more Daisy Fresh guys coming over.
Yeah, George and Dante both killed it on that show.
Yes, and we're going to get to see some of the younger ones as well, like Jared Schaefer, Tad Cravens.
Oh yeah.
We've got Jacob Brooks, obviously Jacob Couch and stuff like that. They're all going to be on the show. And I mean, some of these kids. I mean, especially I was talking to Jared Schaefer, and he's only 18 years old, and I mean, he's already killing it in wrestling and obviously jiu-jitsu as well. So he's going to be one that certainly I'm interested to see.
Yeah. Jared, yeah, he's come a long way, and I think I've known him about 2 years. Like now that he's like kind of developing into like being an adult, he's starting to become a problem.
Yeah. So, but all the Daisy Fresh, I mean, every single guy. I know they're coming up to Glasgow as well. They're going to be doing, because that's where I'm from. So the gym I train at, BJJ. So we're going to have a Daisy Fresh seminar.
Yeah.
So I think there's about 10 of them coming up in a van, in
Yeah.
a kind of minibus type thing. So, but they're all coming up, and yeah, we're looking forward to seeing them in Scotland. So, we watched the documentary about them, and the documentary was awesome. The one that was on Flow Grappling. So we're definitely buzzing to see you guys coming over.
Yeah.
And then, what about Grapplefest 11 then? So, how did you find out that you were going to be on the show?
So after Dante had his last match there for Grapplefest 10, he asked me if I wanted to be on the card.
Yeah.
And obviously, like it's a really good platform to get on. It'd be my first international pro event, so
yeah,
definitely going to take the opportunity.
Yeah. Have you been to the UK before?
I passed through on the way to Europe before, but I've never like left.
Yes.
And yeah. But I'm excited to actually get out and see everything.
Yeah. Are you going to be getting to do any traveling while you're here? Or is it just a case of coming over for Grapplefest and then obviously going back again?
So I already had plans to go compete at Europeans,
Yes.
even though I haven't really trained in the gi in the last year and a half much, but I'll still go out there and give it a go. But the trip was so close together that I might as well like stay through and, do a little tour of Europe.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I'm sure you'll be back. I mean, as I said, I'm sure after Grapplefest 11, as I said, more than likely, as I said, another Grapplefest will come up, or even things like Polaris and stuff like that. I mean, that's always a possibility as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then obviously your opponent Matty Holmes. Matty Holmes previously been on Grapplefest, obviously been on Polaris and other big shows. Do you know much about Matty other than what you've possibly seen on the internet?
So after I posted the announcement, Nick Ronan messaged me like, "Oh, I competed against that guy," and sent me a clip of the match. So I watched a little bit of his competition.
Yeah.
But before that, he's just kind of like in a different grappling scene. So
yeah,
I hadn't heard of him yet.
Yeah, I'd spoke to him just about an hour ago, just before. And what he said about you, he said he wished you luck, obviously coming over, obviously wished you a safe trip and stuff like that. And obviously he's looking forward to obviously sharing the map with you for the 10 minutes. So,
match.
He wishes you nothing but love on the way over, buddy. All right. And then this year then, so obviously main focus is at the moment is going to be the Euros, obviously the Europeans, and then obviously Grapplefest. What's your plans going forward, Brad? Anything coming up in the future for yourself?
I missed the East Coast trials for ADCC, so I'm definitely doing West Coast trials.
Yes.
And then I guess the rest of competitive year, so Nogi Worlds, maybe a little bit more competition in the gi before.
Yeah.
Because I want to get as much in as I can at brown belt.
Yeah. What do you sway towards? Because I know that you have done a lot of competitions in the gi, but obviously now, doing the no gi stuff. What's your preference? Do you have a preference at all?
Now that the gi's like less common for me, I feel like I enjoy training in the gi more now. But 95% of my training is no gi. So definitely since I made this switch up to train with Dante, he's focused more on no gi, and I think that's the direction the sport's going anyway. So it's really good to, kind of hone in my skills there.
Definitely. And then one thing, obviously, we wanted to kind of bring up, obviously, your Crucifier, which is on BJJ Fanatics. So what I'll do is let me just bring up their website, and we can see. So obviously, as you can see, Crucifier. So, Brad, I'll let you talk about this. This is your obviously instructional. So
yeah. This is my first instructional for BJJ Fanatics. If people didn't already know about my game, the crucifix is a giant part of my submission game.
Yeah.
Close to like 150, 170 submissions from the crucifix in competition. And this is kind of like breaking down some of my systems, entries into the crucifix. And they kind of come from everywhere. I think the video has almost 80 techniques in it.
Yeah.
It's pretty short and snappy too, like 2 minutes of technique. And I'm pretty open about like responding to people. So if you have questions over it and you purchased it, I'm always happy to answer.
Yeah, so, and you can see it there. Obviously, the volume 1, for example, obviously gives you the breakdown at the time. So obviously the intro, and then as Brad mentioned there, usually about a couple of minutes per instructional that they're showing you. So as you can see, obviously the volume 1s, volume 2, 3, and 4, and obviously the different parts in there as well. So obviously ordering it, as you can see, it's ordered through the BJJ Fanatics website. BJJ Fanatics is awesome as well, Brad. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic instructionals on there. Obviously, yours especially.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to be on the platform. They have a lot of reach, and it gets my jiu-jitsu out there to more people, and it allows me to, make living through jiu-jitsu, which is definitely the goal.
Yes. And as you can see there, $97. Obviously, UK, I think that's probably about, what, £60.
And they always have their deals now. I think they have a birthday deal or something for Bernardo for his birthday that's 42% off.
Yeah, so you can see up the top there, Founder's Birthday, 43% off all videos. So just using the code Founders 2022. So you'll get that for obviously a lot less than $97. But it's definitely worthwhile. I mean, crucifix is one of these kind of moves that not a lot of people use. And if used correctly, as I said, you can pretty much do anything off the back of it.
It's one of the most dominant positions in jiu-jitsu, I think, like outside of the back control, and people aren't really good at defending it. So
yeah. So, guys, make sure you get on BJJ Fanatics and obviously have a look at that. And a final thing for you then, Brad. So you've been in the game for a number of years, so I'm pretty sure the list of thank yous is going to be very, very long. All right. So, but anybody you want to shout out to, so any friends, family members, teammates, or even any sponsors that you may have.
Yeah. So I guess I might as well keep it like jiu-jitsu related. Obviously, thank you to Heath and Dante for getting me on this event. They've been definitely super helpful in my training, and Heath's been really helpful trying to get me out there and promote me as part of the Daisy Fresh team.
Yes.
Thank you to my original coach, BJ Nelson. I probably wouldn't be competing full time if I didn't have like a push to compete. And thank you to all my training partners, Max Hansen, Daniel Calvert, Nilo. Train with them every day along with Dante, and we're trying to get ready for trials, so things should be looking up.
Brilliant. Well, listen, Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So, listen, guys, Grapplefest 11, Saturday 26th of February, Fusion Nightclub, Fleet Street in Liverpool. The only place you will be able to see it is on Fight TV, so make sure you do check out Fight TV. It was only announced yesterday, so Grapplefest doesn't show on Fight TV yet, but it should show hopefully within the next few days, and all the order and details and so on will be on there. So Brad Schneider, Pedigo, submission fighting, so Daisy Fresh is going to be coming over and taking on next generation's Matty Holmes. So promises to be a fantastic matchup, this one. So anybody that wants to have a look at Brad, he's on YouTube, as well as Matty Holmes, both are on YouTube, so you can get a rough idea of how the matchup's going to go. All right, so, but listen, Brad, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
I appreciate it. We'll see you in Liverpool.
I'll see you next month, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.